predictions. Yeah, check these out. Don't fight with Jack Fry. Nigga Jack Fry. Nigga Jack Fry. Nigga Jack Fry. Check out these info predictions. Yeah, check these out. Don't fight with Jack Fry. Nigga Jack Fry. Nigga Jack Fry. Nigga Jack Fry.
Welcome to Broadsword Media. We're doing our NFL regular season predictions. So for now, we're just going to talk about the division winners. And for the AFC East, I got the Patriots. They'll start off a little slow because of the Tom Brady suspension, but after that, they're going to start playing more like the Patriots we know from the past several years and come back and win their division again.
I also have the Patriots. They're pretty much a sure thing every year. Until they prove otherwise, it's pretty much a simple pick for me. Tom Brady and the Patriots every time.
Exactly. I think it's not until Tom Brady retires that maybe things will turn differently.
I like seeing the Bills. They're improving. The Dolphins are improving. The Jets, well, they're the Jets. But neither team, I don't think, has enough to knock off the Patriots at this point.
Yeah. I honestly feel the Jets are going to be the weakest out of the division. But the Bills and Dolphins are improving and have a solid shot at a run to the playoffs. I believe the Dolphins will be a wild card out of the AFC East. So in the AFC North, I have the Steelers winning a close and heated division match with the Ravens. It'll be pretty close, but it'll be determined pretty late in the season who wins the division. And I think the Ravens will be a wild card. I think the Bengals will probably even out at 500. And the Browns, they had a good run last year, but when Johnny Manziel came in, they didn't win a single game with him. So I want to see what he can prove first before I can predict the Browns have a good season.
I got the Steelers winning the division. Offense looks really, really good. See how the defense turns out, but I think they're going to pretty much outscore every opponent. And also, they got a nice pickup of D'Angelo Williams to fill in for Bell's first 2 games on suspension, so they shouldn't be too weak there. They could even beat the Patriots in New England's opening week. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. So Steelers to win that division, and I have the Ravens as a wild card out of that division as well. I see the Bengals as a declining team. And I see the Browns as an improving team, but they are the Browns, so they're not really going anywhere.
All right, so the AFC South, I think, is a more obvious division. The Colts are definitely the best team out of that division. Their best competition will be the Texans. Unfortunately, the Jaguars and the Titans, I just don't see very much promise in those 2 teams. I don't really see the Titans even improving at all from last year. I see the Jaguars maybe improving a little bit, but they'll pretty much be just the same Jaguars from the last several years.
I agree. Colts to win the division, probably the easiest pick of all the divisions in both conferences. Yeah, I guess the Texans are their best competition in that division, but really it's not much competition. Hoyer is their quarterback. Not really that good. Foster's out for who knows how many games with a ripped groin. So easy pick for the Colts. Definitely no wild card out of this division.
Definitely. The AFC West, to me, is the first place winner of that division is pretty obvious to me, and that's the Broncos. They'll probably go 4-2 against their entire division, and yeah, they'll easily win a division. The Chargers, I believe, will be a little above 500. I don't think they'll be in the playoffs, but they'll have a great team. They'll have a great season. The Chiefs will be a little off this year. I think they'll be around 500. And I know there's a lot of Raiders fans who really believe the Raiders could improve this year, but I honestly just don't see it. I think they still have a long ways to go. Derek Carr still has a lot to prove. He had a decent rookie season, but he has a lot to prove before I can really believe the Raiders can be good this year.
Yeah, I picked the Broncos to win the wild card, but if Peyton goes down, you know, it's up for grabs really between the Chiefs and the Chargers. I see the Raiders finishing in last, but I do see them improving, and I see them getting around 6 wins. Broncos just because they seem to be the strongest team, but I could see the Chiefs sneaking in there. And I do have the Chargers as my other wild card pick. The Chargers for some reason, just always seem to find a way to win games. Phillip Rivers is pretty good. You can count on him to win games. Melvin Gordon looks like a really good running back coming out of college. And I think Keenan Allen's going to have a better season this year, along with some pretty good other pieces. So I got Chargers wild card and Broncos as division winners in the West.
And as we go to the NFC, we start with the NFC East, and I believe the Dallas Cowboys, despite the loss of DeMarco Murray, I still see them as a very strong powerhouse team this year. I think they'll take the division. There's a chance they could even get a first-round bye with their division, winning their division crown. The Eagles are a little more hard to judge because they got Sam Bradford, and he seems to get injured a lot. And we don't know how good he's going to be since he missed all of 2014. But the Eagles do have a pretty good team around them. And I do believe the Eagles have a chance of being a good team, but there is still a chance they might pay off this year just because you don't know what's going to happen with the quarterback situation. But if all things go well, he doesn't get hurt, I think the Eagles will actually have a winning season and they can take the wild card. The Giants are one of the biggest dark horses in the league. They could improve to be a wild card as well, but I think because of how tough their division is, I think they're going to be like around 500. And the Redskins, I'm sorry, the Redskins just don't seem like a good team right now. They have a long ways to go.
Yeah, NFC East, I got the Cowboys. The team just seems to be good, you know. The offensive line is killer, and whoever's running the ball is going to get yards no matter what. DeMarco Murray got that because of his line, not because he's super awesome. I doubt he's going to be nearly as good for the Eagles this year, besides the fact he'll be sharing time with Ryan Matthews. I got the Cowboys to win the division. I do have the Eagles as a wild card spot out of that division. The Giants, I figure they're going to have an average season, 8-9 wins. And the Redskins, they'll be lucky to get to 8-8, I think. So we're looking at Cowboys first, 11 or 12 wins, and I like the Eagles as a wild card.
And then out of the NFC North, I'm pretty certain the Packers are going to run away with this division. Just based on schedule alone, I actually see them having a strong chance of actually clinching home field advantage in the NFC, possibly in the league. And because the Vikings, they showed promise last year without Adrian Peterson, so now that they have him, I feel like they have a chance to actually be a really good team this year. So I think they'll have a winning season for the first time in a while, which would get in the way of the Lions making it to the playoffs. So they'll both be, in my opinion, 9-7. And then last would be the Chicago Bears. I mean, they're not that terrible of a team, but the rest of their division is just much stronger than them, and it's going to affect them in the long run.
Yeah, this division could be the most have the most strength of divisions. Every team in this division is pretty good. Maybe not the Bears, but I like the Packers to win the division. They lost Jordy Nelson, but that's not going to stop Aaron Rodgers from throwing 30 touchdown passes and over 4,000 yards. I think Devontae Adams is going to be huge this year. I picked him up for my fantasy team as soon as Jordy Nelson went down. Also, I believe that the Lions will come in as the wild card spot in this division. I like the Vikings too. They're much improved with Adrian Peterson as well. And Bridgewater in his second year, but I think the Lions are going to put it together. I really like Amir Abdullah coming out of the backfield, and I feel like they're more of a complete team, offense and defense, out of that division.
All right, and then the NFC South, as we all know, last year's NFC South was probably the worst division in football history. I think it was 21-41-1 was the combined record of the entire division, I believe.
It's terrible.
Or I think it was 22-41-1. That was the combined record of the whole entire division. That's horrid. But I think the Saints kind of had an off year. I know they don't have Jimmy Graham anymore. The Seahawks have him, but I mean the Saints, they still got Drew Brees. He led the league in passing once again, and he'll probably do it again this year. And they have a decent team. I think they even could actually not just win their division, but actually win it with a winning record this time around. So the Panthers, they're the best competition for the Saints, but they're going to have some difficulties without Kelvin Benjamin this year. So we'll see. I mean, they have Cam Newton. He's a great quarterback, great running, great passing. He's a good, just versatile quarterback. So we'll see, but I think the Panthers may struggle this year. The Falcons are not going to really be any better than last year. They didn't really add too much to improve the team. They got Matt Ryan, so you never know. They could just come out of nowhere. But I don't think the Falcons are going to do that much this year. And the Buccaneers, they got a long, long ways to go, unfortunately. So that's how I see the NFC South.
Yeah, I got the Saints winning the South. Drew Brees is still a top-notch quarterback. Without Jimmy Graham, he'll do just fine. When they did trade him to Seattle, they got a first-round draft pick and Max Unger, one of the best, if not the best center in the league. So that's going to really help their pass blocking and rushing offense. I look to see Ingram having a big year running the ball and catching balls out of the backfield, and I also like to see Marcus Colston have a comeback player of the year award potentially. I also like Brandon Cooks to be the breakout receiver of the year, maybe have better stats than Des Bryant. So let's go with the Saints. Pretty easy. This division, I like the Panthers. I may have taken them a week or two ago, but now that Benjamin's out, I'm not going to take them anymore. I think the Saints are better. The Falcons, I just don't think they have enough pieces to win the division. They have no running game. Their offensive line is weak. And the Buccaneers, they have a long way to go, like Sean said. So Saints to win the division, no wild card for sure.
All right, so now we got the NFC West. And I think the NFC West is going to have the same winner as last year. I mean, the Seahawks, they're still the Seahawks. They got one of the most indestructible defenses in the entire league. And their offense is pretty good too. So I think the Seahawks will take the division, but I actually think the Cardinals will give them some good competition this year. I think the Cardinals will be the other wild card out of the NFC, and they'll have a good season. The Rams, they look to improve, but they're going to be about the same as last year. And I hate saying this because, I mean, I'm a Bay Area fan. I like the Raiders. I like the Niners, but I don't feel confident about the Niners, but not because of their coaching. It's mostly because of all the players they lost, and it's going to really hurt them this season. I feel like it's going to give them about like 5 or 6 wins, unfortunately.
I got the Seahawks to win the division. I'm just sick and tired of the Seahawks. I'd like to see the Cardinals take the division this year. It's a possibility. But I still think the Seahawks are going to take it. Cardinals will come in second. And third and fourth will be Rams and Niners. I don't know which order that'll be. Hopefully, Niners won't finish last. They're my favorite team. Yeah, I mean, Seahawks are just going to be good every single year, and I don't see why not. That stadium up there, they're going to be undefeated at home again, probably. It's just, I'm just tired of them. Anyways, the Seahawks to win the division, and yeah, so that's pretty much all I can really say about that. The Rams are good; they're getting better, but they're not there yet. And the Niners, they've completely fallen apart. I think it's really more of an ownership problem. They lost a lot of players to retirement and injury and free agency, but mostly I think there's an ownership problem there. If you're going to fire the coach that got you good, how can you blame that on anybody else? So anyways, yeah, Seahawks to win a division. I like the Cardinals to give them some good competition as well.
West, so that would be the biggest surprise team in my opinion from the AFC.
My surprise team in the AFC is the Raiders. I don't think they're going to make the playoff or anything, but I think they're going to surprise some people.